In this video, I show you Dragon's Rest risers and stairs. Before we get into today's video, just want to share what the GGGG is. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month, September of 2021, we are going to do the picks this coming Sunday, September 26th, at our Discord channel in the evening. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you can watch Bob's picks live this coming Sunday. So you have a little bit of time before that is done for September. And for this month, we have tons of things. The LK5 longer, large format FDM printer. We have a bunch of sci-fi terrain kits from Archon Studio. We have this printed and painted cottage from Ian Lovecraft for his current Tale of Two Cities Kickstarter, and a bunch of pledges for various Kickstarters, including $100 to go towards the current He-Man Kickstarter. If you want to get in on that, use the links below to go to my Patreon page. If you don't know, I really like Dragon's Rest tiles, and I made a whole video on comparing the various 3D dungeons that you can create for your fantasy or RPG games. If you want to see that, go ahead and click here. But I found that the 1.5 inch tiles, but especially the ability to magnetize everything, just makes setup so much easier and actually has enough space for all of my miniatures to be able to fit. And also I made a full Hero Quest board, and you can check out those line of videos, 3-part series here, and check that out. But this set actually enables me to not just have flat dungeon sets, but also now I can have height. So different levels. So he created the risers as well as the stair set. And that's all included in the fantasy dungeon set. And you don't purchase this, but it is part of Ian's Patreon page. So if you go to Dragon's Rest Patreon page, links in the descriptions below, for $6 a month, you have access to all of these files, not just these ones that you see here, but a bunch of different fantasy files. His sci-fi ones are on sale piecemeal through his website, but for his fantasy sets, it is through Patreon. Now, the reason why I printed this set out is because I want to use it for Descent 3. And I'm going to be coming out with a review video for that game after I play some more scenarios, but wanted to see how viable it would be to print out the tiles for that set. Now, I'm still experimenting a little bit, and I'm realizing that there are a ton of tiles, so I might not actually go this route. But in the least, I found this system to actually work with the scenarios that's in the set. And one of the things that I was trying to figure out is, how do I still magnetize most of the pieces and still have it so that the floors can be raised up without falling apart? Because obviously if the floor pieces are only attached through magnets, then the magnets aren't strong enough to hold it up when you don't have support underneath. My solution was to basically print out these pieces all fused together so that the floors are solid. You can forego that and just clip everything together using the clips rather than the magnets, and that will hold everything together. In fact, I tested a piece up here. This floor is clipped together and it stays together fine with minimal support. At the end of the day, if you just want to use clips, you won't have any issues or problems creating whatever setup you want. But for me specifically, I wanted to continue to be able to have everything magnetized because it is so much quicker and faster just to be able to do that rather than sticking clips and trying to put everything together that way. So that's why I really like having the magnetic system. And I also made some modified pieces. So for example, some of these rails, which normally comes with a clip, I actually took that off and put in holes so that you can put in little disc magnets, and then these pieces stick really easily onto the edges. So any of the pieces that I modified will be available in the community remix folder in the Dropbox where you find all of these files. Also, I made a support piece right here because all of these pieces do come with this edge. assuming that you're going to put the floor right here like this so that it provides a decorative edge. But I wanted some where it just supports, I can place supports without the edge. That way I can opt to use these rails rather than what comes on these support pieces. So I went ahead and just sliced this part off right here so that it's just a little tower like this. And this also is going to be available in the community remix folder because it really helps out a lot where I can place these where I need support. That's not along the edge. Ian does have a bunch of files that is this height, but the thing about this is it's the height of the wall as well as the floor, and I needed it to be shorter, and that's why I created a custom piece. But if you are interested in having just support pieces that build up on top of each other, these are the files that are also available in Ian's folder. My suggestion to you, if you want, is to start off by printing out the piece that's right here, because Ian has instructions and a print list of all the pieces that you need, and that will give you a general sense and idea of how these pieces are supposed to work together. And then you can be super creative, like you see here, of all of these pieces, that you can build out layouts just like this one and be really creative with what kind of supports that you want, how high you want each of the levels, and all that kinds of stuff. And this is just a small example. I did print everything that you see here with my FDM printers at 0.2 millimeter height, which is my standard level of printing. And as you can see, that is plenty of detail for terrain. With the exception of the gargoyles as well as the shields shown here, I did print these on my resin printer just because I wanted the greater detail on these decorations. But they turned out really cool, and I think they look fantastic as well. But if you only have a FDM printer, I think it's fine just to print at lower resolution. That way you can have more details on those pieces. The furniture that you see around here, including the chests, is from Kraken Studios. They had a Fantasy Dungeons Kickstarter recently, and these were some of the stretch goals, so I am using that for some of the furniture pieces that align super well with Descent 3. And then over here, I do have pieces from Dragon's Rest Ghoulburg, which was intended to be used with Cursed City. Now I'm not using them for Cursed City, but I am using these pieces just to be able to throw on some edge pieces really quickly onto my dungeon set, and I think thematically it looks super cool. And this tree also is from the Ghoulburg set, which in Descent 3 is an interactive terrain piece. So it's worked out super well for me, and I think the versatility of these pieces are super cool. I did ask Ian to create this little stand because in most 3D models, you do have sort of more accurate looking stairs where characters sort of step up, but you can't really place your miniature on these without them falling over. So he did create this stand, this piece, that you can stack anywhere along the stairs, and that enables and creates a little stand for your miniature to be able to go on top of that, which is ingenious. So thank you, Ian, for creating this. This is definitely a piece that makes it so that you can place your miniatures anywhere along a staircase, especially if it's long, and you're not resorting to just saying, hey, my miniature is on this stair, as they might be limited by their movement. And then I also test printed out some of the lava pieces that are shown here just because I wanted to see what they look like, because in Descent 3 there is lava that you place as part of the pieces. Now there is also water, which Ian, if you're going to make other tiles, I'd love to see both a water tile as well as a grass tile. Those are two wishes that I have for other possible tiles in the future, because again, in Descent 3 both of those tiles are part of the game too. But overall, I think this is a really versatile set. I'm really happy that I was able to print out these pieces, because not only will I be able to use it for Descent 3, but also for all of my other dungeon crawlers as well as my RPG games. Hopefully this is helpful for you. If so, please hit the like button and subscribe. And again, go over to my Patreon page if you're interested in getting in on the GGGG for this month. Happy printing, happy gaming. We'll see you next time.